Better believe it. Broadcasting live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Remember, you can stream our show, all the Fox Radio shows, 24/7 on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Search Fox Sports Radio on the app. Stream us live. And the newest feature, you can preset us number one on the dial like on your car radio. Preset us. Don't forget us. This ain't Ronco. This is Covino and Dickie Lovelady.
I still think people are going to buy that jersey.
Rich Davis, everybody. Dickie Davis.
How do you not?
Live from the West Side. We got a special Tuesday edition of Last One Standing, and we be rocking out. Let's go. So giving away prizes, and we don't have many left, so you got to tune in. We gave a lot of prizes away in Vegas, but we're giving some away today with some trivia. We'll talk Aaron Rodgers. We're going to make some confessions here.
These are my confessions.
Father Danny G standing by for your confessions because, well, I feel like OKC made some confessions about their celebration that we're going to have to dissect a little bit. And stay tuned for that. Iowa Sam, great to see you.
Hello.
And, of course, Dan Byer, the great. Dan Byer, the great, with your update and spots on the videos at Covino and Rich. What's up, Rich?
You mean Dan Byer? Not a ketchup guy?
Not a ketchup guy. That's one of the wildest things I've heard.
Yeah, we got some treats from some of our friends up in Canada, and there's ketchup chips in the lobby. And I go, Dan Byer, help yourself. Not much of a ketchup guy.
And for all you mustard fans out there, you're going to be disappointed as well. Thumbs down to the mustard. Yes.
So, my goodness.
What do you
condiments
dip?
to you?
Yeah, what do you dip your nuggies in?
I used to not dip them in anything except regular honey. Yes. So that's kind of my, the sweet stuff.
What is anti-condiment?
So when they go, honey mustard?
If
No,
I
honey.
gave you, right now, if I gave you a Dodger dog, what are you doing? Are you
Eating
going,
it plain. Plain.
you're raw dogging a Dodger dog?
Yeah, well, I don't call it raw dog. I do cook it, but I know what you're saying. I do eat a hot dog, bun, and dog only.
Oh, okay,
That's
so
it.
no ketchup for DB.
You
No
need
relish?
the condiment as like a lubrication. You can't just
No,
eat
you
it dry
don't.
like that.
I don't know, man.
That's what saliva's for.
Oh boy.
What about fries? What about fries?
Talking
Dan-
about raw
Dan
dog?
Byer? No
Just-
ketchup?
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
You don't dip them in the barbecue sauce?
Nope.
Nothing.
I don't mind barbecue sauce, but I don't dip the fries.
Well, let's make this
Maybe a
clear.
little
Ranch,
seasoning.
Ketchup
aioli,
chips
No
are a big
ranch.
deal
Nope.
in Canada.
Chipotle
so.
ranch?
Uh-uh.
No.
Wow.
Well,
no.
yeah, it's just interesting. We don't need to harp
Mayonnaise.
on it. It was interesting because my co-host Steve Covino, the king, Dan Byer, of dippings.
Yeah.
Whether
no,
it's
true.
a
Really?
sandwich, whether it's
Dippins.
nuggies or even steak, a burger. Covino's all about like the sauces and dipping. So well, look at that. Maybe you're not a Covino guy yet.
So we learn something new every day.
That's
now,
good sauce.
what is Dan Byer an expert in? All right, not condiments, but last one standing. He is the grand champion. You think you could take him? Get ready to play later on.
Now, let's kick it off with Aaron Rodgers. And I only say that because I have a theory on Aaron Rodgers, as Danny G grumbles.
Danny G gave us a 4-minute time limit.
Starting the stopwatch right now.
Well, the big announcement today, courtesy of the McAfee show, was that he signed a 1-year deal for a reason, that this is probably going to be his last year. Take a listen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal. This was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I mean, I played 20 freaking years. It's been a long run, and I've enjoyed it. And what better place to finish than in one of the cornerstone franchises of the NFL with Mike Tomlin and a great group of leadership and great guys in the city that expects you to win.
For me, Rich, and we'll open it up to everybody, 877-99 on Fox. It's a non-story. I know it exploded the minute he said it. It's all over everywhere. Yo, man, he announced this is last year. Hey, did you hear Aaron Rodgers? Are we really that surprised? How much gas did you think he had left? Or you think he was going to play like 2 years? And then you kind of figure that anyway, or if he had some sort of remarkable comeback season, maybe you take it from there. Or he just rides out into the sunset and goes out on a high note. How could you possibly be surprised that it's his last season? It's so weird. It's a nothing burger with no
Aaron
ketchup
Rodgers-
for DB.
There's no ketchup on this burger.
Nothing burger. I mean, good for him, but I'm not surprised.
I'm going to compare Aaron Rodgers to random girls I've slept with and The Walking Dead.
Whoa.
There comes a point where apathy and just not really caring sort of clicks. Remember The Walking Dead? Did you watch Walking Dead every week of your life?
Until Carl died, then I gave up.
Bro, look what I wrote down. I'm like a psychic. I'm like Dr. Oz. No, wait, is it Oz the Mentalist? Same guy? No, different guys. Carl died. Because you know what?
It wasn't my choice. My girlfriend was like, I can't watch anymore. And to be honest, I feel like I had seen it over and over again. Knew the whole. You knew the plot.
The minute Carl died on The Walking Dead, you could hear other people saying, like, yeah, the new season. You're like, yeah, no, I've sort of, I just don't care anymore. And you feel that way about, some exes you'll think about and worry about. And others, you're like, yeah, I really don't care what she's up to.
That's called things running their course.
Yeah, and it's.
I don't care.
Walking Dead was great, but then it ran its course. It became so predictable. You knew what was going to happen. They end up in some new place, and war ensues, and they have to conquer this bad guy, and then they're chased out of that place, and they got to end up same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and again, you could say that about a lot of things in life. They run their course. You're like, yeah, I felt that way about the show Homeland, too.
Everything in life has an expiration date.
And Aaron Rodgers, and I would say not just Aaron Rodgers, because I think he could very well have a good season. I'm
sorry, except for Honey, Dan Byer. Honey
expired.
Honey never expires.
Honey never expires. That's, great dipping choice.
It's true.
I do think that Aaron Rodgers could very well have a great year. I'm one of the few people that think, you know what? Maybe he is remotivated. It's the last hurrah. I mean, I get it. He had a rough comeback with the Jets. Hurt himself on the first play. Wasn't really 100% the next year. I think Aaron Rodgers could surprise people. But what's not in my equation here,
but even that, is it really a surprise?
No, but I'm not really, interested anymore.
Here's what I wrote, and I'm sticking to my notes. Aaron Rodgers announced one more year.
Yeah.
Who cares? Isn't that exactly what we expected? And I really believe that we're going to get exactly what we expect from the situation. I don't think Aaron Rodgers stinks by any means. He had an injury, and he played on a crappy team. I think you're going to get a decent performance. He rides off on a decent note, and it sort of salvages the end of his career. 9 or 10 wins. If they make the playoffs, that's considered a huge success, and I can't expect anything more. But I think you're going to get exactly what you'd expect from this situation.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if Aaron Rodgers is a top third quarterback. Meaning, remember the other day we said, listen, you can't say everyone's top 10 when they came out with that list because there's 32 teams in the NFL. There's a top 10, a middle 10, and a bottom third, right? I wouldn't be shocked if Aaron Rodgers delivered and was in that top 10 category. We're all assuming he's in that middle category. But the interest is just not there anymore. Like, hey, he's going to retire. He'll go live his private life with his girlfriend, wife now that he doesn't talk about, ayahuasca, all the stuff that people have talked to death over the last couple of years.
I get it. After 20 years.
We have Aaron Rodgers fatigue.
It's
over.
A big announcement. But how could you be surprised? Now, Rich, I'm dying to know how it's like.
That was my timer on my phone.
Okay, so we'll end it on Rich's last analogy and then some feedback at 877-99 on Fox. You said it's also kind of like girls you've slept with in the past.
Well, there's some people that...
Some of them have mustaches? Is that the similarity here?
No. It's funny. Some of them... You follow up and you wonder how they do, and I saw them on social media. They're doing well. They're married, got kids, and then others you couldn't care less about. And I think we've hit the point where Aaron Rodgers. If there was Aaron Rodgers news, we'd be salivating. I think we're over it. I think Carl died on The Walking Dead. Essentially, that's what happened to Aaron Rodgers.
By no means, though. I don't know how you feel, Rich, but by no means do I wish him a bad year.
No.
I'm rooting for the old guy. I'm never the one that wants to see anyone fail later in their career after a legendary run.
I'm the bozo that just said he could be top 10.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the interest level, like if you were like, ooh, Aaron Rodgers, first primetime game as a Steeler, of course we'll all watch. But it doesn't have that feeling it did when he had his first game as a Jet.
I don't think that means that he's any less intriguing in life, though, right? If there was another documentary about Aaron Rodgers, you'd be watching it.
Not as excitedly.
Okay. So your thoughts on the obvious announcement that he made today? Big news, yes, but it's kind of obvious. 877-99 on Fox. Do you suffer from Aaron Rodgers fatigue? And do you agree he's going to have a solid season? But it's not like It's just filler. It's like we need a good quarterback until we figure out what's next to just give us a nice run and maybe make the playoffs. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
I don't want to pop the excitement bubble. Is there such thing?
Is there really an excitement bubble for Rodgers with the Steelers?
But what I'm saying is we have a lot of friends that are Steelers fans. Everyone does because they're one of those franchises that have fans all over the country. Everyone knows one knucklehead buddy that's like, yeah, I got my terrible towel. Go Steelers. It's a very popular franchise. The same way you probably know someone that's a Cowboys fan. Steelers are that type of franchise. I don't know any of my Steeler fan friends that are really fired up about this. From our buddy Rob, who listens in San Antonio, to our friend Bree, who lives in Vegas. Think of anyone you know that's a Steelers fan. Is anyone really fired up about this?
My guy, Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, you know my best friend, Joe Manganiello?
Who?
He's probably pumped about it.
He's a big Steelers fan. Why don't you ask him?
Joe Manganiello. But I think we both agree, Rich, and that's a nice thing, that he's going to have a solid season, go off on a decent note, and call it a day.
Dan Byer, are you down with the same expectation? Like, maybe they win 10 games, maybe a playoff win, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, but I think that your point about the excitement is very interesting because we look at Pittsburgh and we just think of the great Steelers of the past. And I as you guys were talking, I'm like, if you were a Pittsburgh-based fan, would you rather meet Aaron Rodgers or Paul Skeens right now?
Oh, good question.
And
Paul Skeens for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think that that's the case, and it's not meant to be disrespectful to Aaron Rodgers, but I think most times the Steeler wins that argument, right? You would think in history,
no doubt.
Really. So, so I think that's an interesting part of it. But yeah, I don't think that there are expectations, especially in the AFC, where, gosh, everybody seems to be really good except for maybe about 3 teams.
Yeah, and you know what, Dan Byer, to back up your point, we've talked about some of the best-selling jerseys. We talk about every year. They come out with lists. I would argue that I don't think you're going to see a crowd of number 8 Rodgers Steelers jerseys. Especially because it's the 1 year, and it's not like he's this guy that you're like, oh my God, we got him. I don't think Steeler fans like, we got him. So I think you're just not going to see a ton of Aaron Rodgers jerseys. I think there's a fatigue. I think it's oh, cool. If he could make a run with our team, that's great. Wave your towel and call it a day.
It's only a 1-year deal. Why would you buy a Rodgers jersey? It's like, unless you win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you know what people bought? Tampa Bay Brady jerseys. It just is
he won a Super Bowl and he was there for a couple years.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is
when you buy a car in the last year of the model and you know they're making a new model the next year. You're not really that thrilled about it. Man, they changed the model.
They changed the headlights and the frame.
We hadn't seen Brady in any other uniform.
Yeah,
it was like his freedom from Belichick and the Patriots.
Well, keep in mind, this all makes sense. Like I said, no big surprise here. He's played 20 years in the league. Signed a 1-year deal. He just got married. Don't you think he wants to live his life? He's successful in broadcasting. There's another future out there for him. I'm not surprised at all. We wish him the best, and he's going to have a solid season, and he deserves that after the crap he had to deal with in New York. So props to him. We say all that respectfully, not rooting against him, but this is not a big surprise.
Don in Kansas, you are caller number 1 of the day. What's up, buddy? Hey, Don.
Hey, I'm a Chiefs fan, so I understand fatigue. We get it. But Aaron Rodgers, he's had the spotlight for a long time. The last couple of years, he's tried to do everything he can to get the spotlight, delaying his decisions and all of this. I think, I've had it. I don't even think Mike Tomlin's excited they have him anymore. He's not gotten there early enough to build bonds with anybody or to put in a new offense or anything like that. I think they're like, we kind of do what we have to do this because this is kind of what we had planned. But, I think he's run his course. Give him his Harley on his farewell tour and let him retire. So
exactly. This is exactly it. We're getting exactly what we should have expected. This whole story is nothing but an announcement or as I'm calling it, a nothing burger with cheese. No
Oh,
ketchup.
no
so,
ketchup.
So Dan could have some.
Do we do cheese, Dan, or no?
Not really.
No,
No, not
Jesus,
on the
Dan.
cheeseburger. I don't like to mix a lot of stuff. I like cheese as it is, but in mashed potatoes, throw some cheddar in there. Absolutely,
There you
but
go.
not on my hamburger.
Okay, so just a plain nothing burger.
Plain burger.
Let's talk to Dan and Casey. Your reaction to the announcement
What's up,
today.
buddy?
Dan, what's your reaction? Hey, buddy.
Well, I just want to know, Rich, just compared his sex life to The Walking Dead, was he only slept with dead women?
Have I compared my? What do you say?
You compared your sex life to The Walking Dead.
He said he asked if you've been intimate with the deceased.
Sick burn.
That's weird.
You put that caller through?
Wait, he didn't tell me he was going to say that.
What a weirdo.
He said something. I got something to say about The Walking Dead.
Not only did Sam not dump it, he followed up and clarified the comments,
He was curious about necrophilia.
I cleaned it up a little bit.
I said you want in on the Rodgers conversation. He said, "Yeah, I have a comment about that Walking Dead."
Were you guys trying to say there's no
remark
hot
from Rich.
zombies? There was some hot zombies.
I mean, there's some
I'm
hot
sure.
zombies, and are they really dead in
Why
The
you guys
Walking Dead? I don't know.
discriminating?
They're
Yeah.
walkers.
Jeez.
So answer this question though: Are we all high on Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? And I bring that up because Justin Fields going to the Jets. No one's really, maybe there's a little excitement, like, oh, let's see what he could do. Russ, people are just waiting for him to hand the torch over to Jackson Dart. So if those two guys together won 10 games and the Steelers got to the playoffs in a really competitive AFC, if the combo of Fields and Russ did it, like, why are we so like, we'll see what he could do? I think Aaron Rodgers is better than those two.
No one's debating that or denying that.
And they got some
I think
weapons.
he's
They
gonna
got
have,
DK Metcalf.
Like we said,
right?
I
They got
think he's
some
going to
people.
have a solid season. I think a success would be making the playoffs. Has a great chance to do that. 10 games probably, and that would be great. And that's how you end the career.
I think I'm going to take the fun take that no one's taking, which is, I think they might shock you a little bit. What if they click? Crazier things have happened. We're making it seem like
what? Clicking what? Be realistic. Let's be real. Let's be real like Cypress Hill. Let's be real. You think they're going to go all the way?
no, I'm saying
Big
that. What
dreaming,
if they
bro.
What if they win,
Dude,
10, 12 games?
Sibao. Right now. Sibao.
Sibao.
Here's the other thing.
SYBAU.
In the past, when we've seen greats retire, Dr. J, I think we remember in the 80s when Kareem did, there was always, when you would go to that town for the last time, you would get a gift or an item from that team. I think even in baseball, when it was just AL and NL, interleague, it's tougher to do now because maybe you're not in every park every year. But it's the same thing with the NFL. Like Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be visiting all 31 teams. So there's really no farewell tour. I don't remember a lot of farewell tours in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
And some people announce, and people think like LeBron is going to, so he gets that shine in each city on his final tour. But this is a little unheard of.
It's going to be, I think, you know what, while I said our interest level is low, I'm going to root for it because I feel like it'll be a great storyline if he does surprise people.
Same.
Because everyone's assuming not bad, but not great. Everyone assumes this is a placeholder, 9-8, another typical like Steelers are good but not good enough situation.
Exactly. We'll
Let's
take
go.
one more phone call and wrap this up.
Let's go to San Diego and say hi to Cruz. What's up, Cruz?
Hey, Cruz.
What's going on? Hey, life's a risk. Carnal, how you doing? This is
Órale,
Cruz.
carnalito.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, so yeah, you know what? Announcing it early, I don't think it really, psychologically, I don't know how it helps the team. I mean, I think, more, like, does it inspire or, the team to move forward when you're kind of, you got this one last run with a quarterback that's new to the system?
You know what? Because if Cruz, great point. If Aaron Rodgers was in season 20 with the Packers, it's like one more year, do it for Aaron, his last hurrah. This is your last hurrah with a bunch of new guys you don't know. It's sort of like a weird mix, right?
I do like his point, though. How do you think his teammates feel about knowing that he's only there for a year?
Well, we know some of them
So there's
didn't.
no future with this
Some of
guy.
them weren't interested in him joining the team at all. Remember?
Yeah. You know what it reminds me
Like
of?
Terry Bradshaw.
You know what it reminds me of?
Like they're starting free safety.
This is a little bit of a stretch of an analogy, but it won't get any necrophilia calls. Do you know when like the relatively new person at work quits or leaves, and they do this long ass email? And
half the time I don't know that guy.
And half
anyway.
the time you're like, who?
Who's this guy?
Hi, this is Jessica in marketing, and I just want to talk about my time here at iHeart. I've met so many people, and you're like, who? She's leaving. Good luck, but you'd have no. Now if the person
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
now if Big Mike,
Who?
I want him to be here forever, but
Never heard of
let's say Big Mike
Speak for yourself.
gave a
No, I'm just
resignation.
kidding.
Let's say Big Mike was like, guys, after 30 years, I'm leaving. You'd be like, oh man, that's touching. No one cares about Jessica who's been
Yeah.
here for 2 years. You think there's no sentimental attachment.
I'll never
Mike's
forget
been,
the
Mike's
summer
been here
of
130 years, actually. Sorry.
I'll never forget my first day in the summer of 2023 when I walked through the iHeart doors. Yeah, you're like,
I'm
what?
moving on, and I'm gonna miss everyone. You're like,
Yes.
who? It happens all the time, by the way.
Right. So that's our side of it. Rich and I surprisingly agree pretty much on most things that have to do with it. It was a big announcement, but it's an obvious announcement, and we're moving on. We have other things to get to.
Well, speaking of being the problem, right? There's
Got a problem?
There's a team that could very well got a lot of fingers pointed at them in the NFL. So we're going to keep the NFL ball rolling a little bit. Some NFL talk, and it has to do with a quarterback on a new team.
Isn't
not
it crazy
Aaron Rodgers.
how NBA's over and we're immediately wearing our football helmets? You sure you don't want to talk about how bad your Mets have been lately?
I think I'd rather not talk about their 1-9 stretch over the last 10 and how the Atlanta Braves whoop their ass continuously. I think I
I'm
don't
just
want to talk
kidding.
about that.
I'm just kidding. But
I'm so happy, to be honest, that your Yankees aren't much better, because otherwise you'd be way ahead of me in our bet.
they're terrible.
They were
too.
like neck and neck because they're both stinking like Abe Lincoln lately.
Make me want to barf. So
think
yeah,
of
you're
how
right.
stinky people were in the 1800s.
We'll talk more NFL. This has to do with the Colts and your feedback and phone calls. We get to more Covino and Rich and Last One Standing, a very special Tuesday edition, giving away prizes right here on Fox Sports Radio.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo
joking.
Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate your show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate.
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct. 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event
You
during
can't.
a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo
joking.
Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all's show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct. 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event
You
during a
can't.
big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo
joking.
Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say
One more time, one more year for Aaron Rodgers. We got Iowa Sam on the ones and twos.
I hate this
It's
song.
a CNR Tuesday party. Why? What'd it do to you? Someone give you a wedgie while it was playing one day?
If you grew up on the East Coast.
I hate that song.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, this is like the Yankees one more time. Oh God, it's gross. I love Daft Punk, but 98, 99, 2000, when the Yankees were dominating, every local radio station would play this song, and it would be all about the Yankees. Oh. They had a Yankee remix. Like, they would have stupid clips of Jeter and Posada and those. Ugh.
Why don't you cry about it?
I wanted to.
Sports, baby. That's Rich Davis. I'm Covino. Danny G's on the phones at 877-99 on Fox. Save that number because it's your chance to win a Swiggy when we play a special Tuesday edition of Last One Standing. The Swiggy with the swaggy, the coveted Swiggy. We only have like a handful left because we gave so many away at our party in Vegas. Right now we're live from Fox Sports Radio Studio in L.A. Are you ready for a new job? Let Express Employment Professionals help. While Express helps people in all industries find work, our sweet spot is logistics roles, and Express never charges job seekers a fee. Go to expresspros.com.
Yeah, buddy.
And while you're there, COVINORICH.com.
For sure. Hey, check out all the stuff. We're going to start posting some great videos and pictures from this past weekend in Vegas. So we're going to start planning some new events before you know it because we had such a great time. Our biggest event ever this past weekend in Vegas.
Word on the streets, on the down low, we might be taking a show to Hotlanta, doing a live broadcast from Magic City. All right, maybe not Magic City, but the All-Star Game. We'll be out there, maybe, potentially, allegedly, giving away more prizes.
Oh,
but we bring
Magic
it to
City
you.
is where you're going to be doing the lemon pepper wing challenge, right?
Yeah, Magic City is not a magic shop.
You meeting up with Rob Parker?
It's a gentleman's establishment.
That's what you asked for, the Rob Parker special, right? When you go there?
He's got a booth there. That's right. Again, I'm Covino. That is Dickie Lovelady Davis. Spotty's here. DB's got your update in a few minutes. And I know you want to continue with the NFL, Rich, because NBA is over.
Hold on. You brought up Dickie Lovelady, which, by the way, is a new pitcher in the Mets bullpen.
I thought that was your new nickname.
Richard Lovelady said he wants to be called Dickie, so he's Dickie Lovelady. And you remember recently you said to me, my Mets lack that hawk to a girl, grimace, fun vibe they did last year?
Yeah, Juan Soto ruined that for you guys.
Could Dickie Lovelady be like step one in the Mets getting a vibe again?
Maybe. I don't know.
What if he's awesome? But yeah, I do want to talk a little more NFL because here's the rumor. And I heard this rumor, not from the janitor and Billy Madison. That guy's terrible.
Who, Old Sideburns?
Yeah. Miss Lippy's car is green. No, I actually saw like a legit rumor. Danny G sent it.
This is about Daniel Jones.
Via The Athletic.
Right.
A legitimate source. Again, not Old Sideburns. Here's the rumor. Colts quarterback Daniel, you call him Dr. Jones, has taken a significant lead over Anthony Richardson in the QB1 battle in Indianapolis. Daniel Jones, QB1 for right now. The Colts signed the ex-Giant Viking QB in free agency to challenge Richardson, and it appears as though, as of now, he's taken a significant lead. And there's people that thought he had the tools all along. So here's my question. If Daniel Jones...
He had the tools, just not the team.
And bingo was his name-o. If now Daniel Jones is looking like that top draft pick, $40 million guy they thought he was, and he looks like he's outperforming Anthony Richardson, who is a hell of an athlete, and you saw Saquon Barkley change teams and all of a sudden go from, oh, man, Saquon, is he not living up to full potential? Is he being wasted in New York? Goes to Philadelphia, rushing like a maniac, winning a Super Bowl. Could it be?
We've seen this with plenty of quarterbacks in the past few years. Geno Smith reinvented himself. Baker Mayfield reinvented himself. Just add him to the list of guys that could turn it all around.
Can you just look at the Giants as the problemo?
Yes.
Just some clarification with that report. Anthony Richardson is dealing with a shoulder issue that they don't know how serious he is. So he didn't take part in minicamp and hasn't been doing stuff. So Daniel Jones took all of the reps in minicamp. They said it's an open competition. But Richardson hasn't done anything to really be able to compete, which would put Daniel Jones ahead of him at that point.
So it's not like he's losing it. It's sort of by default.
Well, yes, in essence. But it's still a big enough news that they were opening up the quarterbacking competition, and they did this in January. But now, if Richardson's not even available to be at mandatory minicamp because of a shoulder issue, and they don't know if he's going to be ready for training camp or not, it does lend that Daniel Jones may be getting the job by default.
And if he wasn't turning heads,
Yeah.
they would say things to the effect probably of Daniel Jones, a quality placeholder until Richardson gets healthy.
Sure.
But the fact that he's, really seems to be showing people.
Significant lead would imply that it seems like it's his job to lose at this point.
Listen,
Yeah. He's looking good in camp.
a star
At
young
least.
quarterback. Like, all right, if Jaden Daniels, unfortunately, was sidelined, and whoever the backup for Washington is right now, who, by the way, who is the backup for Washington? It's a good question. Got to get back in NFL zone. If the backup for the Commanders right now, they were saying like, oh, he's taking the lead, you'd be like, no way he's taking the lead. Jaden Daniels is their quarterback. The fact that Anthony Richardson, there's even a competition just shows that Daniel Jones is turning heads.
Marcus Mariota.
I thought so. Damn, I was going to say it, but I didn't want to look foolish. I never had a problem with that before. Mariota. I mean, good backup, but if Jaden Daniels was banged up, you wouldn't say Mariota's taking a lead. So it just shows you that Daniel Jones, could it be the Giants, just never used this guy the right way.
Well, we always say a change of scenery could work wonders, not only in the NFL and professional sports, but in life. You may be a chump wherever you are right now, but you're the man somewhere else. Except a lot of people aren't willing to take that risk. And life's a risk, Carnal. Man, even in our career, in our industry, you feel like you hit a dead end sometimes. You explored every avenue to be the man, and it just wasn't happening. Yeah. You go somewhere else, everyone's treating you like a king.
It's the old go to college, you become a new person, right? I just watched that Call Her Daddy documentary on Hulu. And Alex Cooper, for being the $100+ million Call Her Daddy #1 female podcaster in the world, she was like a picked on kid in high school, bullied, and went to college and became like the hot soccer star that everyone loved. And now she's, selling out arenas doing her podcast and live show. So, change of scenery means everything.
So Daniel Jones gets to erase sort of that Giant stigma, and he has a new start in Indianapolis. And he always was a decent, in my opinion, talented quarterback. He had some wheels.
He had flashes, but Covino, you can't put it all on the Giants, right? He threw 47 interceptions while he was with New York.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
But I also thought he was never the same after that weird breakaway run he had where he was full on sprinting and was moving too fast for his own body and fell. Do you remember where he went?
Covino thinks that's stuck in his head forever.
That was like his butt fumble.
Think he's had the yips ever since?
He was never the same after that. I promise you.
That was
in his head. That was his butt fumble. And I think it's a new start for him. He's a new man in Indianapolis. So I'm rooting for the guy.
Again,
I always thought he was better than the record and the turnovers reflected.
Again, there's an asterisk, as Dan Beyer said, because Richardson's not 100% available. But the fact that Daniel Jones is turning heads just makes you say, man, did the Giants not utilize Saquon the right way? Kai goes on to become a MVP candidate, dominating, wins a Super Bowl. And now Daniel Jones is competing with someone you would assume would have had the #1 job easy, healthy or not, right?
Well,
Anthony
what
Richardson.
we're saying here is this is a classic example of it's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
The you being the Giants, and such is life. Sometimes you're in a relationship, whether it be at work or with a significant other, and it's just a struggle. And then you move on and you realize, wow, this is a lot easier and a lot better than the previous situation.
Someone hit
It's
us up.
not me, which proves it's not me.
Yeah.
It's you.
Someone hit us up yesterday, one of our old coworkers, and a really nice message saying how they love to see how at Fox Sports Radio we're getting the love and the support that we deserve, saying maybe other places
didn't get us.
Other places didn't get us the way our bosses here at
know
Fox
how to market us the right way.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
it's all.
Well, Rich's Spanish needed to be better.
That's right.
It's all in the fit. It's all in the fit, and good luck to Daniel Jones.
Before the show, Rich, we were talking about that picture you were in. What was it for?
Oh, it was a big ESPN Deportes photo, and it's all the Latino broadcasters for ESPN
and me
and Rich. Yeah, it's me.
Ricardo.
And Rich. It's so funny.
Let's go to my pal and yours, Dan Byer, for an update. DB, what's going on today, man?
Guys, Aaron Rodgers telling the Pat McAfee show this is likely his final season in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a one-year deal. This was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had.
In other NFL news, in a judgment that ultimately sided with the NFL on collusion grievances, arbitrator Christopher Droney did admit that NFL ownership colluded at a meeting in March of 2022 to limit the value of guarantees in veteran contracts. The documents were unveiled by Pablo Torre on the Pablo Finds Out podcast and showed that the NFL's management council encouraged teams to reduce guarantees just 5 days after Deshaun Watson signed a fully guaranteed deal with the Cleveland Browns. Buccaneers will wear their creamsicle throwback uniforms Week 15 Thursday night against the Atlanta Falcons. Oklahoma City Thunder celebrated their NBA title today with a parade and rally in the city. The Minnesota Timberwolves are in the news. Not only was one of their assistants, Mike Nori, interviewing for the Knicks job, the league today unanimously approved the sale of the team to Mark Lauren, Alex Rodriguez. The final sale expected to be finalized later this week. And a trade in the NBA, Pelicans sent guard C.J. McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to the Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the 40th overall pick later in this week's NBA draft. Couple of baseball notes. Rangers pitcher Cody Bradford's going to need elbow surgery. He'll miss the rest of the season. Diamondbacks placed Corbin Carroll on the injured list with a chip fracture in his left wrist. And the White Sox, who are playing the Diamondbacks in a series on Chicago's south side, signed pitcher Noah Syndergaard to a minor league deal. Guys, back to you.
Oh, wow.
Noah's
Thor
back.
himself.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of comebacks, a lot of people are rumbling and speculating whether or not the Mets should bring Grimace back.
It's so funny because I brought it up a minute ago, and on MLB TV and another network, that a lot of people are like, the Mets are cold right now. What happened last year when they were cold? Grimace threw out the first pitch, and everything changed. So
I heard Juan Soto hates Grimace, and that's why. I heard he's more of a Burger King guy.
Oh, man, there you go, blaming my dude, Juan Soto again.
I don't like Grimace. I could be him.
Well, hey, we got more Covino and Rich, and let's go Grimace, let's go Mets. More next right here on Fox Sports Radio.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate your show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct. 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during
can't.
a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate your show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino. One of my favorite songs ever.
Daniel Jones and me, going to be big stars, bro.
There's still a discrepancy about the first lyric of that song.
Caught up in Rio.
Is it Caught Up in Rio or Cut Up Maria?
Why in the world would it be Cut Up Maria?
Because I always thought it was Caught Up in Rio.
That doesn't
and I
make it
looked
right.
up, and I think it
Just
might be
because
in
you're
reference.
a bozo doesn't mean that's the lyric.
Cut Up Maria.
I don't even like that corny band.
Caught
I
up
stopped
in
Counting
Rio.
Crows after number one. I stopped.
Counting Crows
They
is fantastic.
stink. I give them 2 thumbs down.
Rain King is one of the best songs. Washington Square. Do you not have like nice chill music in your playlist?
Yeah, and they're not part of it.
Is it all like lame rock from the 90s?
Hanging Around's a good song.
Counting Crows?
At least I went from the first rejoin song Rich hated, and then he loved the second one. So I'm making
Oh,
strides
I'm not
here.
blaming you, Sam. We were talking about Daniel Jones. It's a great pick.
Yeah,
I'm just not a big Counting Crows guy.
Keep it topical.
What don't
We're
you like about
Covino-
Counting Crows?
They're boring. They don't rock. And that's why I don't like him.
They don't rock.
Adam Duritz got a lot of tail in his day. I give him props for that. He's a great musician, but his songs stink. We're Covino and Rich live from the Fox Sports Radio studio, and it's time.
Who do you like, by the way?
For our time. Not you, because you keep interrupting me.
Who do you like?
Good things. I have what they call taste. You have naste. Do you know what naste is? No taste.
This guy was
No
talking about
taste.
how he wants Creed to do the Super Bowl halftime show. You're talking about taste.
You know how the Tin Man was born without heart? Rich was born without taste.
Yeah, you're the scarecrow. No adjustments needed.
Okay, time for our tire rack play of the day. The Nationals' young outfielder James Wood stays hot with his bat.
The kick in the 1-0. Wood drives one, deep right field. It's hooking toward the corner. Will it stay fair? It hits the foul pole. It's a home run. James Wood bangs it off the foul pole for a 3-run shot. The Nationals blow it wide open as they lead it 9-3.
James Wood with the good wood.
Danny G just likes picking any highlight that takes down the Padres, right, Danny?
Yeah, there wasn't much to choose from yesterday, to be honest with you.
Slow day.
That's what's in.
That's what's in. Washington beat the Padres 10-6, courtesy of the Nationals Radio Network, and that was our Tire Rack play of the day. For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive.
Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. All right, already, all right.
Now, we are, like 48 hours removed from OKC winning a Game 7. That's ratings were deceptively good, and I say that because you said the highest NBA finals game in a handful of years, but there was also the only Game 7.
Yeah, had the casual viewers tuning in.
We had a Game 7 since Cleveland and Golden State.
Yeah, so when
9
it's like,
years.
when you're saying, well, the ratings were all right, yeah, it was the first Game 7 in almost a decade. So I expected that. You know, a bummer, Halliburton goes down. We did criticize OKC quite a bit yesterday. I'm not taking it back.
There's an update, though. We talked about their celebration at the end of the game and how lackluster it was.
It just seemed like a lot of high fives and like mild bro
Dude.
hugs. Like the way you would.
There could be a pickup game at the 24-hour fitness, and it ends the same way.
Yay.
That's the truth.
I like how Rich said in his softball on a Tuesday night, the guys are just as hyped when they win a close game.
There's guys that I play with that are hyped for grown men softball. If you were bowling on Ventura and your buddy, hit a couple strikes in a row with Turkey, you'd show him more excitement. Like, yeah.
It looked like they were at a Counting Crows concert. That level, that level of excitement. And
well done.
And there's an update to that story.
I don't think the update makes anything better, though.
No, well, at least there's a reason, as to why the celebration just seemed kind of lame. So just based on that, we're going to explain what it is. We want you to start thinking about things that people expect you to know how to do, but you just don't know how to do it. So this is your confession, and Father Danny G is going to either forgive you or not, because we all have things that we should know, but we don't know.
Talking about all my kids again?
No.
Is Danny G one of those good priests, I hope?
We're going to confess.
Oh, they're confessing to me on the studio lines.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'll give you one. Both Rich and I don't know how to change our own oil. That doesn't mean we're incapable of figuring it out, but we've never done it.
Yeah, a lot of people nowadays don't do that.
Yeah, and people always, when you're talking to a giant nation of listeners, they're like, you don't know how to do it? Take back your man card, lame-o.
Yeah, there are things that I think we all need to admit now I don't know how to do, because I'll throw it out there and we'll discuss next. Most of the members of the Oklahoma City Thunder did not know how to open a bottle of champagne. They should be embarrassed.